Yo, what's up, guys? It's MMA Analyst here to give you my predictions for Strikeforce Barnett versus Cormier. All right, before we get down to it, log on to BetMMA.ca. Create an account in the forums and tell me the questions you want me to ask Miesha Tate. Serious questions, please, people. We know the kind of questions you want to ask Miesha Tate, but I'm not talking about those questions. I'm talking about serious mixed martial arts related questions. All right. Also, I'm doing the podcasts. The first one should be live next Tuesday. So I'm going to try and set it up, make sure everything's on iTunes and all that stuff. I don't know how to do it, but I know somebody who does. So I'm going to make sure that's going to be available on iTunes. I'm going to update BetMMA.ca and blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff, all right? So log on. Tell me what you want to talk about. What do you want me to talk about on the podcast? It's going to be an hour-long podcast. Every episode is going to have about at least 20-minute interview or a maximum 20-minute interview with somebody, all right? And, so there's that. Also, if you guys want to get the free betting picks, contact me. I'll give you a link. You sign up through that link to Sports Interaction, and then you get 2 months of free betting picks from me. All right? So, there you go. For this card, I'm going to cover the top 3 fights right now, and then I'll just kind of post who I think is going to win. I would just run through the rest of them anyways, so I'm just going to post them. All right, so Josh Barnett versus Daniel Cormier. All right, so here we go. It's going down. First things first, Dana, win or lose, I want both these. I want Josh Barnett in the UFC after this. Win or lose, unless he tests positive for something. All right, win or lose. The UFC heavyweight division is not good enough that you can just say, all right, Josh Barnett, F off. Now, y'all seem to be being cool lately, and Barnett is playing ball, pause. He knows what's necessary, so he's no longer, playing these games. He is, to me, minus all the disrespectful, stupid stuff, he is what Chael Sonnen tries to be, that wrestling persona. But Barnett is naturally that guy. So, get Barnett in the UFC and put him up against some people that he needs to fight. Josh Barnett versus Frank Mir, that's got to happen in the future. It's got to happen. Josh Barnett versus anybody, it's got to happen. Frank Mir, though, that's one right there. It's got to go down. I got to see it happen. But, all right, let's talk about the actual fight. Here's the situation. Daniel Cormier is a beast. All right? What he did with his hands and how his hands have improved so much. But what he did against Antonio Silva cannot be ignored. And with those hands and his heavy wrestling pedigree background, Josh Barnett, he's going to be in trouble. Now, Josh Barnett definitely has the ability to get the fight to the ground pretty much with anybody. But the thing with Cormier is he sits back and he's real calm and he's quick, fast hands, and he's strong. Olympic wrestling background. Josh Barnett's going to have to get inside, hold tight, and put Daniel Cormier on his back. At that point, Josh Barnett is the best at tiring people out. He'll get that top position, put that hip pressure down, and just tire you out. He don't even care if he's throwing punches. He's just, I'm going to tire you out. When next time you get up, if it's a video game, you're going to go from 100% to 80%. That's the next time if you get up. If you let me just sit on you for this whole round, you're going to get up at 60%. Then next round, I'm going to finish you. So he can do that to Daniel Cormier, I'm pretty sure. But the thing is, I'll be damned if Cormier's strikes didn't look amazing. And if he's not fast as hell and very effortless with the strikes, my man was just going doop. That's it. Just doop. And knocking down Antonio Silva at will. This is not somebody that just gets knocked out all the time. He was getting just tooled on the feet. So I think that's going to be the big difference here. If it were not for Cormier's striking ability, which appear to be pretty good, I would say, Josh Barnett might take this because I know Daniel Cormier's got the wrestling pedigree, but Josh Barnett, I don't think you're going to be able to hold him on his back. And he's not going to get tired. So you put all that together, and I think, all right, Josh Barnett wins. But if Josh Barnett's got to get through that striking first, I think that's going to be a big problem. And I'm going to have to go with Daniel Cormier. And, man, to be honest, I feel like it's going to be like a first-round KO. I could be wrong. And to be honest, I'm kind of rooting for Josh Barnett. I'll tell you why. Josh Barnett, clearly, he's closer to the end of his career than he is the beginning of his career, right? So if he wins this, first of all, dope. He's 31-5. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's on an 8-fight winning streak. It's not like he's doing poorly. I'm just saying he's definitely closer to the end than the beginning, and Daniel Cormier is closer to the beginning than the end. All right? Daniel Cormier also will be in the UFC no matter what. And he will be put up against some solid opponents no matter what. But Josh Barnett, I don't know. So I'm kind of rooting for Josh Barnett. Also, Josh Barnett, pride, all that stuff. So I'm rooting for Josh Barnett. I hope he wins. It would be nice to see him go from like, all right, you won, and now you get a title shot right away. Right? So, Junior Dos Santos, knocks out Frank Mir. We already know what's going to happen. And then Josh Barnett versus Junior Dos Santos. Or, what if Frank Mir won? And then you go Josh Barnett versus Frank Mir. Now, Frank Mir is not going to win. But if he did, man, Josh Barnett versus Frank Mir for the title shot, and then Josh Barnett's the heavyweight champion, oh my gosh, that'd be great. All right, so as you can see, I'm kind of rooting for Josh Barnett. I do think, though, and I'm a fan of both of these guys. I wish they could both win against somebody else, but they got to fight each other, and one of them's got to lose. I think that person that's going to lose is Josh Barnett. Josh Thompson versus Gilbert Melendez. Pretty simple here. Gilbert Melendez is, 1, 2, or 3 in the lightweight division. And solid everywhere. Josh Thompson, tough guy, very experienced. All the complimentary things about him. But at the end of the day, he's going to lose to Gilbert Melendez. He did beat him once. Then he lost to him. And I think he's going to lose again. And that's just because, Gilbert Melendez got the jiu-jitsu, defensive jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, solid striking, a good chin, everything. Josh Thompson, again, he's good, well-rounded fighter, but I just think Gilbert Melendez is not going to lose this fight to him. Pretty much that's it. Gilbert Melendez training partners, he trains with some of the best in the world. Josh Thompson's got some solid partners too, but at the end of the day, I think Gilbert Melendez is able to control the fight. If it's on the feet, then he's all right. If he takes it to the ground, which I think he will, then it's all right. And I think at the end of the day, Gilbert Melendez comes away with a decision win. Probably going to be one hell of a fight. Not like it's going to be beat down. I don't see him finishing Josh Thompson. And Rafael Cavalcante against Mike Kyle. They already fought before. Mike Kyle defeated him. I think this was Cavalcante's debut. Let's take a look back. See if my memory serves me correctly. Computer's acting slow. Told you all there's something wrong with this thing. Alright, so yeah, they first fought Cavalcante, Strikeforce. Yeah, anyways, he knocked him out. And I don't think it's gonna happen this time. The Cavalcante that exists today, I believe, is a much better fighter. And solid striking. He actually was doing pretty good against Dan Henderson until he got destroyed. But yeah, his win over Molowall, a big win. Antoine Britt, solid win. Aaron Rosa, can't really hate on that. I just think that his knockout power obviously is the big thing. And also I think he will be the more technical striker against Mike Kyle. Mike Kyle has improved immensely over the last bit, not just in skill but in attitude. Dude used to be an out of control maniac. But yeah, he's done his thing. Only loss over the last bit was to Antonio Bigfoot Silva. And that was a pretty good fight. And it was at heavyweight. But yeah, and then the last time he lost was also at heavyweight against Fabricio Verdum. So at light heavyweight, he's done pretty well. He hasn't exactly fought the best of the best. Abungo, Humphrey, Tony Lopez. Yeah, not the greatest. But anyways, I do think that Mike Kyle will get caught. And I do think that he will get knocked out. And Rafael Cavalcante will be victorious. So, those are my picks. I will just kind of post the rest in point form under and who I think is going to win and by what method. But there you go. So, again, BetMMA.ca. Log in. What questions do you want for Miesha Tate? What topics do you want me to cover for my first podcast, which will be live somewhere on the 22nd of May. All right, so there you go. Enjoy the fights. MMA, it's important. Peace.